So our next presentation is supplemental content for OER, the missing piece of the puzzle. Our presenters are Natalie Stickney and Danya Andrews Little. I hope I pronounced this correctly.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So Natalie is an associate professor in kinesiology and health, housed in the health science pathway. She has been teaching at the Clarkston campus for 13 years and primarily teaches CPR and first aid. Danya Andrews Little is an associate professor in the Department of Kinesiology and Health at Perimeter College. She teaches courses in sports management, CPR and first aid, and perspectives. She has primarily taught on the Clarkston campus and has worked for the university for over 10 years. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So just to briefly introduce our presentation, Dr. Little and I applied for and received the Georgia Affordable Learning Grant, and our grant was considered to be a mini grant. So we did a mini project, and what we did was supplement our content in our first aid and CPR class. So I'm going to go ahead and let Dr. Little tell you a little bit about why we were motivated to do this project.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. And like Ms. Stickney said, she applied for the mini grant for the affordable supplement material. And she kind of brought me along because we do teach this class. And we decided to do the advanced first aid and CPR class because this is a class that we have the highest enrollment with. And not just she and I teach the class, but all our members in the Kinesiology and Health department, which she used to be, now personal health program, teach the class. So we thought this would not only help us, but help the whole department. So in the class, like I said, we have nursing students, all different types of students there. We decided to do this. Originally, for first aid, our students were certified under the National Safety Council. And then for CPR, they were certified under the American Heart Association. So the National Safety Council, which is this book, this yellowish book here, that book cost $110. So we found out a lot of students weren't able to afford the book. Like in the last presentation, how much the students have to pay. They weren't able to afford the book. So a lot of times we were having to do so much to go over the material because the students weren't reading the material. Now the first aid book CPR book only cost $12. So students were able to get that book and follow along, and it went a little more quickly. But, with the cost of that textbook for first aid, we thought this would be a great opportunity to help the students afford to be able to learn the material they have and help them out with our supplemental material.
The content that we developed was primarily lecture slides that could be shared with other faculty members, end of chapter quizzes. So we created some quizzes that students could use to check themselves and that faculty could also use and embed within these PowerPoint slides. And then instructional videos. A lot of the first aid content requires students to do hands-on presentations. And so this allowed us the opportunity to have students see what it looks like to go through and do a mock first aid assessment on a victim. And so we have those videos as well uploaded in our iCollege page. So all this material and labs additionally is uploaded, and it's available to all of our faculty on our iCollege page. So anybody in our department can access that and use it in their courses. And what we did was we decided how we would divide up our workload once we were given the grant. And so I primarily did the PowerPoint slides and wrote up the labs. And Dr. Little did the instructional videos, and she also did the end of chapter quizzes. And I don't know if you can read it or not, but I've just posted an example of the lab. So this would be something that students would come into class and they would follow all the instructions, get into groups, and go through a lab checkoff. So I'm going to let Dr. Little talk to you about the instructional videos that she created.
All right, so with the instructional videos, so in that textbook, they would break down, each step that the student would have. But if they didn't have the textbook, they wouldn't know what to do. And we made a couple of them, or I made a couple of them, the recovery position, first assessment, secondary assessment. So there were a couple of videos we did, and on the videos, I have notes of each step that you will have to take to perform that skill. So students can go back, they can take notes, they can break it down by frame, so they'll know exactly what to do. So the videos, my daughter was in digital filming, so we checked out a recorder from class, from the campus, and we recorded our videos. Sometimes we asked students or solicited students to help us. So some of the videos had the students, and this was another way I can see that they really knew the information. We had some staff. So the one we're going to watch now is with the staff and myself, and you can kind of see the notes written on the slides for the students to go back and take notes.
Is everybody able to see my my iCollege page?
It's loading, but yes.
Okay, thank you.
I ate a whole wheat muffin. Can you listen?
I'm going to go ahead and mute this, and Dr. Little can just explain what's going on in the video.
Okay, so this video is on how to splint, and I use the arm, but any body part, how to splint and how to put someone in a sling. So again, as you see, I have notes on, first introduce yourself to the person, let them know what you're doing. There's certain questions you need to ask to gather information from them. So you can see the notes are on the slides for the students. So again, they can go back, they know what they're doing at each point. And this would have been in the textbook if they were able to afford it, but now they can get that information on the screen. So we'll watch it in class, and then I have them be able to go back and watch it on their own and take notes, because they will be tested on that skill. So this gives them, a visual besides just reading and talking about it.
I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing on that and go back to our slides. So I just wanted to conclude and discuss some of our challenges and how we were able to pilot this. So as we went through the process after we were awarded the grant and we decided how we were going to approach this, we had our objectives, we had our plan in place. But one challenge we had was in creating these PowerPoint lectures and chapter quizzes. We really didn't have chapters in the American Heart Association publication. It was essentially a publication that was about 30 pages, and our other textbook was about 30 pages devoted to each chapter. So there was a lot of filling in by researching these topics and getting information outside of the textbook. Another challenge we had was in creating the videos, and Dr. Little told me about this, that she learned that we have assistants for filming at the Clarkston campus, which is where we're both housed, and she didn't know about this until after she created the videos. So that was a bit of a challenge, trying to figure out how are we going to get professional equipment, because a lot of times when we think about filming, we're thinking about using something like a cell phone or something that we already have, but we wanted something that was going to be professional. We wanted to make sure that we could include our subtitles and closed captioning, and that requires a different level, and it was more than what we had really anticipated. Now, I'll talk a little bit about the piloting. So we felt that piloting was successful. We both piloted this in our courses, and the students were able to access the PowerPoint slides. We used these end of chapter quizzes so that students could see if they were understanding the content. And we've also had a couple faculty members that have indicated that they wanted to use our content as well. So we believe that the project was successful in meeting the objectives of creating content to supplement a lower cost textbook and essentially not having a watered down version for the students, just because we were using a more affordable textbook. And I think that's really important, to make sure that you have robust content available, even though students are spending less money, you don't want to shortchange them in terms of your course. So now I think we'll go ahead and take any questions you might have.
I'm checking the chat, so I will let you
Okay.
know.
Yeah, I'm curious if you have shared these beyond your own class.
We did go ahead and submit. We had to submit everything to the Georgia Learning site. So all
Okay.
that content was shared.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's on their page. If you go onto their page and you do a
Okay.
search,
Affordable Learning Georgia.
yes.
Yeah, they have a repository, so it should be on there.
Okay. I haven't attempted to share it with Stacks. That might be something to look at doing in the future.
Okay.
I have tried to use Stacks, and I've found that they don't have a lot of content in our area of kinesiology and health.
Yeah. They may with this nursing program coming up. But yeah, the ALG site is a great place to find materials. And the great thing about it is that most of them are courses that are actively taught in Georgia. So, you know, it at least aligns with the big picture objectives. Any more questions?
The chat's all clear.
All right. Well, thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.